February 2nd, 1986, Blacktown, New South Wales. A young woman, beautiful and full of life, walked briskly towards home. Little did she know, the darkness held something sinister. This is the story of Anita Cobby, a story of unspeakable brutality. Anita, a 26-year-old nurse, had been enjoying a night out with friends. As the evening wound down, Anita decided to head home. She never made it. 2 days later, Anita's brutalized body was found in a remote field. The discovery sent shockwaves through the nation. The details of Anita Cobby's final hours are as chilling as they are heartbreaking. After leaving her friends, Anita boarded the train to Blacktown station. It was late, the platform mostly deserted. As Anita walked along a dimly lit street, the men struck. They forced her into their car. Anita was driven to a secluded paddock in Prospect, a rural expanse that would become her final resting place. Finally, in a final act of unspeakable cruelty, Anita's throat was slit. The discovery of Anita's body 2 days later sent shockwaves through the nation. The nation mourned, united in grief and outrage. The investigation into Anita Cobby's murder was one of the largest and most complex in Australian history. The crime scene, a grim tableau of violence, provided crucial evidence. Tire tracks, footprints, and DNA evidence pointed to multiple assailants. The pressure on the police was immense, the public demanding swift justice for this heinous act. Detectives worked tirelessly, following every lead, interviewing hundreds of potential witnesses. The investigation led them to the underbelly of society, a world of petty criminals, drug addicts, and violent offenders. The breakthrough came when a tip led them to a blue Holden, its interior stained with blood. The car belonged to the family of one of the suspects, John Travers. Travers, a known criminal with a history of violence, quickly became the prime suspect. As the net tightened, Travers and his 4 accomplices, his brothers Michael and Gary and their friends Michael Murdoch and Leslie Murphy, were apprehended in a dramatic series of arrests. The 5 men, their faces plastered across every newspaper and television screen, became the embodiment of evil. Their names synonymous with brutality. John Travers, the alleged ringleader, was a career criminal with a hair-trigger temper. He had a long history of violence against women, his rap sheet littered with assault charges. Michael and Gary Travers, John's brothers, were equally violent and unpredictable, their loyalty to their brother bordering on fanatical. Michael Murdoch, a friend of the Travers brothers, was a known drug addict with a history of petty crime. He was easily led and desperate for acceptance, making him a willing participant in the group's depravity. Leslie Murphy, the final member of the group, was a drifter, a follower with a weak will and a callous disregard for human life. Together, these 5 men formed a deadly combination. Their individual pathologies combining to create a perfect storm of violence and depravity. Justice. Delayed but not denied. The trial and conviction. The trial of Anita Cobby's killers turned into a media spectacle, with the courtroom packed to the brim. The evidence laid against the men was simply overwhelming. DNA evidence, eyewitness accounts, and confessions painted a gruesome picture. After a harrowing trial, all 5 men were found guilty. The judge sentenced them to life in prison without parole. The sentence provided some measure of closure. The guilty verdict reaffirmed that justice can prevail. A nation in mourning. Australia grapples with horror. The murder of Anita Cobby sent shockwaves through Australia. This wasn't just another crime. This was a deeply personal tragedy that resonated with every parent, every sibling, every friend. The public outpouring of grief was unprecedented. Thousands attended candlelight vigils, their faces etched with sorrow and anger. Flowers, letters, and mementos piled up outside Anita's home, a silent testament to the impact her life had on so many. The media played a significant role in shaping the narrative. Newspapers published graphic details of the crime, their front pages dominated by images of Anita and her killers. Television news ran constant updates, the case dominating the airwaves. The public's appetite for information was insatiable, their horror mingled with a morbid fascination. The case sparked a national conversation about violence against women. Feminist groups, long advocating for greater awareness and harsher penalties for domestic and sexual violence, found their voices amplified. The public demanded action, their outrage directed at the justice system, the government, and society at large. The case became a rallying cry, a catalyst for change. Echoes of outrage. The Anita Cobby case and its aftermath. The Anita Cobby case led to significant reforms in the Australian justice system. The New South Wales government introduced truth in sentencing laws, abolishing parole for certain violent offences. The case led to the establishment of the Unsolved Homicide Squad. The intense media scrutiny raised concerns about prejudice and the judicial process. Legacies of loss. Remembering Anita, demanding change. Anita Cobby's legacy extends far beyond the horrific circumstances of her death. She has become a symbol of the fight against violence against women. Her name synonymous with the ongoing struggle for justice and equality. Her family, thrust into the spotlight by tragedy, have channeled their grief into advocacy, establishing the Anita Cobby Foundation to raise awareness about domestic violence and support victims. Anita's story continues to resonate with Australians. Her case is a stark reminder of the vulnerability of women in society and the urgent need to address the root causes of violence. Her legacy lives on in the countless lives touched by her story, in the reforms enacted in her name, and in the unwavering commitment of those who continue to fight for a safer, more just world. A timeless reminder. The enduring importance of vigilance. The tragic tale of Anita Cobby is a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the shadows. It is a story that forces us to confront the uncomfortable realities of violence, the fragility of life, and the enduring power of hope in the face of tragedy. While the pain of Anita's loss will never truly fade, her story serves as a powerful testament to the importance of vigilance, the pursuit of justice, and the unwavering belief in the power of good to triumph over evil.